Hey, Veronica, how are you? How are you? Is it not letting you
Hey, all right, now I'm in. I'm good.
hang on? Were you having
How
trouble
are you,
with
Arlene?
audio or something?
No, it was asking me a pop-up window. I had to click OK.
Oh, okay, because I see there's another girl, Veronica, having trouble with connecting to audio. Okay, here she is. All right, cool. Hopefully a couple people come on. Hey, Veronica.
Hello, haven't seen you in a while.
Hello. How are you? It's the end of the
Good,
day.
thank you.
Hair's up. I'm ready to. It's a long day. How was your day, Michael?
My day was well. Yeah, it was really good.
Excellent. I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's a really great group. The only thing I want to, before we start, it is getting recorded. And do you know how to make you co-host as well?
I think you can go to.
Oh, more. No, it's not in there. That's what I thought it would have been.
This is disabled from screen share. That's me.
I don't want to give you, I don't want to give you host
Can you go under
at this point.
participants and then click more?
That's exactly where I'm at, and it doesn't have it. So the thing of it is, I have to let people in the room, and it's very distracting. So I figured you didn't want to
Okay.
do that part. If you if you want to, fine.
Hold on.
But maybe it's screen share.
Well, there's only one document I was going to pull up. So is your email first name, last name 2 at Gmail?
Yes, it is.
All right, I'm going to email you this. Patty.
Normally I see it under more on participants. And I have the ability to make a co-host. Now, this is not my Zoom account. This is the office's Zoom account. That's why it's a little different for me.
All right, I just forward you an attachment.
Okay, perfect.
So I don't need the hosting.
Oh, okay. All right, so let me just bring that document up while we're waiting. You can feel free to start. I mean, it's 4 after. It's totally your call, whatever you prefer to do.
What do you think? I see Freddie with no video. I see Juan with no video. Veronica. Hey, Veronica. Hey. Vladimir. Oh, here comes Juan. Hey, Juan.
Yeah, I'm actually in the store. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Then Vlad. Okay, so hi everybody. I think we can get started, right?
I would say
Right.
yes, because they really have to realize they have to be on time.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 of us. All right, perfect. Hey, everybody. My name is Michael Guariello. I'm one of our top agents in our Woodcliff Lake office. I've been in the business for 5 full years right now. Prior to that, I was in your shoes. I was a dual career agent, and that was extremely difficult. When I was a dual career, I joke about it, I had a lot of donuts. And when I say donuts, it means that I had 0 in sales when I was a dual career, because the bold law, what you focus on expands, and I just didn't know how to focus on my business. I gave out a lot of business cards, but I didn't know how to get business. So that's why, one of the reasons why I'm here tonight. So I am a solopreneur. It's just me. I'm a team of 1. I do have some office support. I have a full-time admin. I have someone else that helps me behind the scenes. So I do have some admin support, but mainly it's me out there hustling. I believe, was anyone on, just a show of hands, anyone on the call last night about goals or 411? No? Okay. Well, for anyone that was on last night's call, just a continuation is, once you kind of have your goals, once you have a plan how to get there, the idea is, well, now what? Okay, so everyone's probably working on this call. That's why we're logging in at nighttime. And the concept of what does the career mean to you really means either A, how many people I can help, or B, what am I looking to get out of this? And a lot of times that usually means you're testing the career, or you're looking for additional sources of income. So if you're like me, when I was a dual career, I was testing the career. I was testing it to see if this is something that I could do full time. I left a corporate job. I had a salary, I had a bonus, I had paid time off, and I had to give that up to go to this, big career where, you're on commission base, and, sometimes it's very hard to bring in those dollars, and it takes sometimes 90, 120, 180 days to bring in a commission, and it takes a while. So, the biggest thing I had to overcome was learning how to sell, learning the techniques to sell. One of those techniques is scripts, right? So you may not know this, but everybody knows a script, right? Whether you're, I joke about it, like even kids know scripts. They say, well, what do you mean? How do kids know scripts? Well, it's Halloween day. They go up to the door, they knock on the door, and they say trick or treat, right? That's a script. But for realtors, door knocking, I mean, that's like, some people are very afraid of that, and I too was myself at one point, but the idea is, when you have the tools and the techniques and you feel confident about yourself, the scripts start to come naturally, and we've all started with scripts, and I do have anyone on this call, we can email you the scripts that may help. If you can, just put your emails in the chat, and I don't know, Arlene, maybe you can forward that email out. Yeah, and we're going to provide to you, almost, I think it's like 30 pages of scripts. There'll be more scripts in here that you can ever use in your lifetime, and the purpose of this call is, I'm going to go through the one script that helped change my business. And it's something that you got to learn how to sell yourself. Okay, so maybe if everyone could put their email into the chat.
I'm gonna request, I put my email in there. They email me asking for it. They can email me asking for the script that you would like me to share with them. Okay, this way I don't have to copy them all down. They can copy one email address. Is that okay?
Yeah, whatever you want to do is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're going to go over a script live, and you're going to hear how it works, and it's going to help change your business. I always like to give some input to people, how this call is going to help you, tonight. How it's going to help you tomorrow, not how it's going to help you in a year from now. You got to know what script's going to work best for you. All right. So a little background is, when I'm calling people, whether I'm lead generating, talking to a friend, talking to a current client, I'm always lead generating. You know, when you're asking for someone's business, you're lead generating, right? So every single call could be a lead gen source. You know, and it's not until you start to think about, okay, well, what's in it for me? How can I help you? Right? It's about coming from contribution. You know, so if you're a business owner, sometimes you don't realize how many times you're helping people, right? But how many times do you really ask for business? You got to learn how to do it. It's got to become part of your script, right? So, you know, someone calls you and says, hey, you know, I need help. You know, I don't know, my sink's backing up. I need a plumber. Oh, great. You know, I know this great plumber. Let me give you the, you know, the referral over. Oh, by the way, you know, I'd love to try to help you in the future. Who do you know that might be looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate that I can help today? The average salesperson just says, yeah, here's the great plumber. Thanks. Hope the family's well. Have a great day. But no one actually asks for that business in return, right? And sometimes it's okay to be specific. And we'll talk about that later too. So one thing is, when I'm lead generating, I want to give you just a couple of points that help me, right? So I'm married. I have 2 kids under the age of 10. You know, we've got pets at home. I mean, home is crazy to try to lead gen. Sometimes that's the only place we could do it, right? I come in the office. There's people asking me, you know, it's a Monday morning. Hey, how was your weekend? You know, that's a distraction. You know, you got people walking by, classes going on. That's a distraction. So what I like to do is I say, you got to build a bunker. You know, so when I say build a bunker, it means that when I'm calling someone for a 2-hour block and I'm going through my database calling people, you know, I sit here, I have my cup of water, you know, I have a snack, I have a pen and a paper. You know, my wife knows during certain times of the day to only text me 911 if it's an emergency. If not, you know, I'm not going to get back to her. She can call me, she can text me all she wants, but if I don't see a 911, I'm not getting back to her until I'm done with my calls, right? So just have just some code in place. You know, my assistant, when she's in the office, you know, my door's closed, I actually have like a little sticker that goes on the wall that says I'm lead generating, don't bother me. You know, and when I come out, she knows that she can hit me with whatever questions it comes with. So have a little bunker, have some food, you know, be prepared, you know, try to, I know it sounds silly, but try to get, you know, if you have to go to the bathroom before the lead gen. You don't want to get up in the middle of lead generating, go to the bathroom before you know it. Then you want a cup of coffee, you come back and you say, hey, I did my 2 hours, but I only dialed for, you know, 40 minutes. It happens, you know, so build your bunker and stay in your bunker. The next thing is always stand up. When I'm lead generating, I stand. For me, I actually like to pace in my office. You know, I walk back and forth. You know, there's actually a part of the carpet that's like starting to wear out at this point. You know, and you got to stand up because the energy is flowing to your feet. You stay awake. It gets your brain going. You know, always stand up. You know, and the next thing, you know, there's certain things you can do with your tone. You know, and it's called, you know, using a downswing. So, you know, a perfect example of a downswing is, you know, don't you want to work with some of the top agents like me that can help you get your home sold today? So why don't we just go ahead and set an appointment? Right. So I just had 2 downswings, right? In a seller's mind or in a buyer's mind, you know, this is why you want to work with me. You know, start high, work with me, you know, list with me, trust me. You know, it helps. You know, they hear the confidence, they know what you're talking about. And when we get into the script, you're going to hear me use that, and it's going to come natural at times. You know, so you start to use it in your everyday life. You know, you know, you want to list your house. Why don't you go ahead and list it with me? You know, all we need to do is just sign the contract right now, and let me get started to help you achieve your goals. You know, so the downswings, very important. You know, the other thing here, you know, so I made a couple notes, but so the goal of lead generating. So this entire script that we're going to go through, anyone know the goal of lead generating? I'll open it up to the floor. Anybody have an idea? What is the goal of lead generating?
Get an appointment.
Get an appointment. Great. Who said that? Said
Mike
Juan?
Trevino, Ridgewood, Keller Williams.
Mike. Okay, perfect. Thank you for volunteering. Mike, the goal of lead generating is to get an appointment. It is not to sell a house. Okay, it is not to discuss comps. What's my house worth? I'd love to talk to you more about that. In fact, when we meet in person, I'm going to go over with that and I'll bring the comps with me and we're going to talk about valuation. You know, it's to get an appointment. That all it is. And to me, like that took a lot of time and a lot of practice. You know, someone says to me like, hey, listen, you know, I'd love to work with you, you know, but I just want to see your credentials first. Great. That's fantastic. I'm going to email it to you right now. And then we're going to go over all that when we meet together. How's today at 4, tomorrow at 6? Right. Well, listen, you know, it's COVID. I'm really not meeting with anyone. That's perfect. I got my own Zoom account. I can log it up, you know, pretty quickly. You know, we could just meet virtually. Does that work for you? You know, so really it's just setting an appointment, right? And that appointment's either going to be a buyer presentation or a listing presentation. Right. And, you know, we could talk about FSBOs, we could talk about expireds, you know, but for me, the past year, not many expireds have been out there. You know, everything that's on the market is pretty much selling. You know, for sale by owners, that's where I got started in my business. I did for sale by owners, open houses, I dabbed a little bit in the expireds, but mainly FSBOs and open houses is where I started with all my leads. And yeah, and a lot of it, I mean, in today's market too, I mean, there's still plenty of FSBOs. There are a few expired. You can still go after them. I'd say even go back to the expireds from 3-4 years ago before the pandemic. Those are people that wanted to sell. Believe it or not, most homeowners don't know what their home is worth today. Unless there was a sale on their block or they know their brother, sisters, cousins, sisters, aunt who sold in the last 6 months, they really don't know the value. You know, and in some cases, it's up over 10% from what it was last year. So someone says, hey, you know, yeah, my neighbor sold in the block last year for 600,000. You know, in my mind, I'm already thinking, hey, you're well over 6. You really have no idea how much your house is worth. You know, and we know that, right? And always come from contribution. You know, doesn't matter the script. When people know that you're here to help, it's not a sales call. You know, and let me repeat that. When you're here to help and you know you can help them, this is not a sales call. Right? Are we soliciting new business? I'm here to try to help you. Okay. If that means I can buy or sell or I could sell your home or work with you to help find a home, yes, I'm here for you. But if there's something else that you need help with, you know, I'm a member of our community. I'm here to help you. And I do believe what goes around comes around. It's the golden rule. Don't you? You know, and that's a big thing that I had to overcome. I see a question in the chat from Mike. For newer agents who don't have many sales or a sale, what kind of credentials can we send? Great question, Mike. Right, so in that case, you use office stats. Right, so for example, if you're going for your first listing appointment, right? I mean, I was there, I did it. I brought my office stats. So did you know that my office is selling at 99% of the market value? Whereas the other offices are trending at 96.5%. So therefore, that 2.5% on a $500,000 listing is well over $12,000 for your house. So when working with me, I can get you more. That's why we need to go ahead and work together. You know, so
can I just repeat?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you noticing how he is inflicting his tone and how he is using those downswings without even pointing it out, guys? It's so inbred in his speaking. I'm sure he does it at home too. Great. It's great. Keep an eye on it. I love it.
Kids, this is why you need to clean your room.
That embedded plan is amazing.
Yeah, so okay, so some people get like kind of nervous, or like some butterflies when you try to do scripts or when you try to lead generate. I usually like my thing is I come in the morning, I try to get my lead generation done early on. If you're working, right, it doesn't matter when you do it. Like if you have a full-time job, I usually find that if you are working full-time, it's okay to lead generate at nighttime, especially to your sphere who will respond back to you, right? If your sphere also works, they don't want to be called at 11 o'clock in the morning. They're not going to call you back till 7 o'clock anyway. And also texting works just as well as a phone call these days, right? And sometimes it's just an impression. If I have a past client that, let's just say I'm looking, I don't know, I'm looking in Hillsdale, and I'm on the MLS. It's at nighttime. I'm looking at houses and be like, oh wow, that house sold for 900,000. Like, that's insane, right? But I know a client of mine or a friend of mine or someone in my sphere lives in Hillsdale. Guess what I'm doing? I'm sending them, whether it's a text or a phone call or what, like, hey, did you see that house on Hillsdale Ave sold for 900,000? You believe that? Question mark. And they write back, hey, what's going on? Yeah, I just saw that. I was thinking about you. How's the family? And this is over text, right? And they click on it. It's got your link. Oh, cool. Yeah, things are great. I'm loving real estate. Oh, awesome. And then out of nowhere, you do that enough times, someone will be like, you know what? I think I know someone who's looking to sell. I'll refer them your way. Right? You're not even asking for business, but you're talking real estate. That's still lead generating. My book, I mean, you're talking real estate, somebody, you just want someone to think of you when they think of real estate. And eventually, when you do this enough, they're going to come to you and ask you about real estate. And that's when you know that you've secured their business, right? So during the pandemic, last March, I remember sitting at home, literally panicking, like, oh my God, in my business, is it done? Like, am I like just completely out of work? Like, this is my only source of income. Like, what do I do? Right. And there was this morning pivot shift call every morning, 8 o'clock. There was like a 10-minute, 15-minute phone call I'd log into. And the idea of something called a care call came up. A care call. And I'm like, what the heck's a care call? Okay. So this is just calling people in your database. It's a script, but it's not talking about real estate. It's, hey, Freddie, I see you online there. So you got the Golden Gate Bridge behind you. Great. So hey, Freddie, it's Michael Guariello from Keller Williams Realty. Just wanted to say hi, man. I know the pandemic's hit me pretty hard. I don't know about you. How's it going? Freddie usually writes. I'm not putting you on the spot, Fred, but put you on the spot. And say, hey, things are going okay. Wife's good, family's good. Well, that's great. At the time, I'm like, listen, I'm just kind of going through all my expenses right now. I'm in commission, man. So it's kind of, I'm just trying to cut whatever I can. One of the things I just did was actually cut the insurance on my homeowners. Again, here we're talking about a house, right? Yeah, I just cut the insurance on my homeowners. I got a great insurance lead I could send over to you. His name's Tim Fox from Carnegie Home Insurance. He actually just saved me about $200 a month. I couldn't believe it. Wow, Mike, you saved $200 a month? Yeah, it was fantastic. I'll give you his name.
And
right? I got a
notice,
referral that way.
and notice he's giving, coming from contribution again, like he said, and he's giving value. He's not cutting it, the cost. I mean, removing something, he's buying the service for a better price. It's a good win-win.
Yep. And then the other thing I was doing, and it still exists in today's market, you do the same thing. Like, these aren't the scripts that you're going to get emailed. This is just things that I'm doing that I think you can put into business today, because you may not be, it takes practice on these things, right? But what I'm telling you is just real life stuff. It's still a script, right? So, okay, so, oh no, actually, Mike, my cousin's in insurance. I'm not really interested in it. Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. Interest rates are still at 3%. I actually just refinanced. I didn't realize it would actually hit this low. I refinanced at 3 1/8, thinking that was the end of the world and it was going to spike up. who knows how much farther it's going to be. But, you know, I tell you one thing, I mean, it's great to have a much lower mortgage amount now, especially with taxes going up every single year, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I got a great mortgage lender at Atlantic Home Loans. His name's Shane Force. I'd be glad to put you in touch with him. Would that help you and your family? No. Okay. Well, listen, I get it. You know, well, maybe you think about it, because between insurance and mortgage, you know, I'm saving almost $1,000 a month right now. Oh, wow. Actually, that's a lot of money. You know, I might consider that. Okay. Well, listen, if you don't know, maybe you know someone else who may know, you know, that I could help them. And just want to let you know I'm here to help you. Great. So how's the family? Oh, good. Yeah, things are good, man. I'm a Giants fan, so it's going to be a long year for me. Well, good. Well, I wish you the best. Thanks. Oh, great. Oh, wait, Mike, by the way, this is what you get. By the way, how is the market today? Don't bring up real estate. They know you're a realtor. If they don't yet, then you're probably going to get some information from them. Oh, okay. Let's talk about real estate. Now it's game on. Right? And if you don't have their email address, I mean, I don't know, Arlene, what everyone's using for databases and stuff like that. Like every month you should be sending out some sort of email, something. But if you don't have their email, try to get it and say, listen, you know, I know we've been friends for years, but this email address says it's AOL.com. Do you still use AOL? No, I have a Gmail account. Oh, great. I'm actually, you have a Gmail, but I don't have your wife's account, you know? And like, you don't realize how many spouses you know that you don't have their spouse's information, right? And again, so that's 1 lead, 2 leads, right? And then plug them into your database.
Put them all into
Yeah.
Command, guys. Everybody
Yeah,
should
or-
get used to using Command. It's a great system. You know, either you can spend money and pay for others, but you're already paying for Command. So I would take advantage of it.
And if you don't have their email and you feel like you feel weird asking for email, sometimes people don't like that. You could just use that same script I just used and say, listen, I know that you have someone for mortgage, you have someone for insurance, but why don't we do this? Let me just go ahead and shoot these contacts over to you, just in case something comes up in the future. And I'm going to put in there, just refer me, you know, use my name, and they're going to take great care of you. You know, what email address should I send this to? You know, it's the same thing like when I'm at an open house. You know, I don't ask someone for someone's phone number if they don't put it down. But what I do say is, let me send you some more information on this property that you don't see on this listing sheet. What's the best email address? I'm going to send it right now, and I already have the email drafted. Boom, just got your email. You know, or if they don't put their cell phone in an open house, they're like, well, let me text this contact information to you just in case you can't think of it later. You know, I'm actually going to send you my business card too, just in case you forget my name. Right, boom, just got their cell phone. Right, save their information. Okay, those are contacts, those are connections. You do it repeatedly, it becomes part of your day, and then you wonder how you could put 200-300 contacts into your database a month without going out and buying leads or searching the MLS or cold calling or any of this stuff.
I know, I'm sure Mike has heard of this one too. Like, one of the things that you can just ask your friends, family, relatives, you know, listen, I'm just trying to update my database. I'm trying to do additional information, blah, 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 blah. You can ask that way. I've come up with a way that I was, you know, given by one of these calls that Mike's talking about. And basically it's, I like to keep my friends and family up to date with the real estate market. And what that simply means is sending them interesting information every month, calling you like 3 to 4 times per year, just to check in, catch up. Would that be okay with you if I add you to my VIP special group? And all of a sudden you say VIP special group, they're like, ooh. And then you say, all I need to do is your email and your mailing address. Once you have those, neighborhood nurture, and you're right in with it. It works smooth and easy. It's really not bad. I'll put that one in the chat. I'll let Mike go back.
Yeah. I did see, there was another question here from Mike Rubino. What if they ask, how many homes have you sold? Or how many in my town?
Yeah, he dropped off for some reason. I don't know if it was his
Okay.
connection or not, but
Yeah, but that's a good question. Yeah, to
Oh, yeah.
respond to.
Mhm. Okay, so it's a script. Okay, it's a seller objection, right? You're on the listing appointment or you're talking to somebody, right? Well, let's backtrack. If you're not on the appointment, that's how I get the appointment. How many homes have you sold, Mike, in whatever town it is? Well, listen, let me ask you a question. How do you know where your buyer's going to come from? Question, right? Usually they're like, I don't know, okay, well, let me ask you this, I know that I've sold X amount of homes in the past year. My goal is Y. I would love for you to be part of that. And I have an ambitious goal. And my promise to you is that you're going to get excellent service. And I can guarantee that I'm going to net you the most amount of money for your home. What do you say we go ahead and meet? So I kind of deflected, right? I didn't answer the question. If they said, yeah, Mike, but I really want to know how many homes you sold in today's market. Well, let me ask you this. Does it really matter on the specific town? How do you know if that buyer is going to come from Queens, Westchester, Park Ridge, Montvale, Wyckoff, Cape May, California? How do you know where that's going to happen? Because I can tell you, I can sell a house in any market in any area in Northern Jersey. I know I can. And you need someone like me that has that confidence and the ability to do it. So let's go ahead and set the appointment. How's 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock, right? So I just took a listing myself in Nutley, right? We're going live the next day or two. I've never sold a home in Nutley. I've never sold a home in this development of Nutley, and the seller objection was, well, Mike, I really want to go with this other agent that I've met with who sold 5 homes in the last year in this community. And I said to him, okay, wow, that's great. 5 homes. I said, okay, well, how do you know that they're actually going to give you the attention that you need? I said, did they show up on time? He said, yeah, they showed up on time. I said, well, I'll tell you one thing. I've responded almost 15 texts to you already confirming this appointment, and I'm here for you 24/7. When you're working with me, you're working with someone that's dedicated, right? How do you know if that other person's as dedicated as me? Do you really know? Did they talk to you about this? Well, actually, no, they really didn't talk about that. Okay. Well, my goal is not just to sell your house, because I know I can. And I know that that person can. But the odds are they're going to do just the 3 Ps in real estate. And that's a different script, right? Anyone knows the 3 Ps script? No? Okay. Well, that other agent's going to place a sign, place an ad in the MLS. They're going to place the yard sign. This development you couldn't. So now they're down to 2 Ps. And third, they're going to pray that another buyer's agent is going to walk through that door. And I said, I guarantee you, when you look at those sold comps, they didn't sell that house. They just listed that house. I said, you can get anyone to put it in the MLS. In fact, half of the listings out there, the admins put in the MLS, not even the listing agents. They don't know the difference between hot air heat and baseboard heat. And everyone starts to laugh at that point, They don't know the difference between central air conditioning and a window air conditioner. I don't know about you, but that's pretty obvious. I said, I think that's more important. And when you're working with me, I go through all those details and I cross my T's and dot my I's, and I'm here for you 100%. So let's just go ahead and sign this contract today so I can get started and working for you. Don't you really want that? And again, in a town I've never sold before, but I came with my comps. I came prepared. It wasn't just a script. I had all the comps. I had the average days on market. I had the listing to sales price. I had everything, and I was prepared for that meeting. So that's how you do it. And a lot of listings are in towns that I haven't been in yet. I just sold one in Guttenberg, in Hudson County, which is that's the Wild West down there. Everything's laughing. Okay. All right, any questions so far? If not, then I'm gonna go into a script. Any questions? Did I see a hand go up from someone?
Yeah, I had a question.
Okay. It's Juan, right?
Yeah. Well, going back to what you just said, when they say, have you ever sold a list, in the neighborhood? Do you just go straight in and say, the whole art of, you know, selling a home is pricing it just right.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter
Okay, so
whether
are we
it doesn't.
are we on an appointment or have we gotten the appointment? Are we
Yeah, I guess we're
talking
on
about
the. Yeah, we're
we're
on
on
the
the
appointment.
appointment?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay, you're the seller, and what's the question?
Well, no. If they present that, say, "Hey, have you ever sold in my town?" Does it really matter? The whole key to listing is pricing the house right, because you want to be in XYZ by 6 months, or you need to sell your home instead of having it
Mhm.
sit here for a few days. So the whole key to it is pricing it. Once we get the price
Mhm.
right and we agree on that price, your house is going to sell. And then you bring up the stats of the office and you see, look, everything that the office has sold within 30 days or 2 weeks. So do you?
All right, so let me role play a little bit with you,
Okay.
Juan. So let me ask you this: pricing is a big key component, okay? And what I'm hearing is you want to net the most amount of money. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, and I agree with you, because let's just be honest. The higher the sale, you do very well. The higher the sale, I do very well, and that's our goal here, right? I want to net you the most amount of money. Okay. In the interim, if you look at some of the way the prices are listing, right, you can go into the MLS, right? And at this point, I would have comps, and at least one of those comps is going to say, this house. What, if you don't mind me asking, what town are you in? Juan?
Hillsdale.
Okay, Okay, great. So you're in Hillsdale, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull up Colonial right now, and usually it's always in a comp that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this house. Okay, this house sold for $50,000 over the asking price. It was listed $690,000. It sold $740,000 over the asking price. Okay, let me ask you this: how do you know 740 was the real number? And this is where sellers just like, I have no idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know. It's the market, right? The market's going to tell you. I don't have a crystal ball, but what I can tell you is that if someone would have, and I would have taken out a sheet of paper here right now and said, okay, listen, this listing here sold 50 grand over. This listing here sold 30 grand over. Okay, they were similar priced. You see the upward trend, right? I want to price this house where the market's going, not where it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between 75 offers or one offer at 740? There's no difference, right? But how do you know that was priced right? You really don't, because it's a market, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look, and a lot of people bid it up. Like, a lot of people like to say, oh, well, yeah, let's just price it low, right? So you talked about pricing. Well, not everything is about pricing. If my marketing is that strong, and I know my connections in the community are that strong, and I know I'm going to do the work, right? I'm not going to list it just on a Sunday morning with 2-hour window to see it, right? I'm going to list it earlier in the week, and I'm going to put in the work so that we can get you the most and get you the most attraction, and list it what the market's going to dictate. Anyone can put, again, the 3 Ps in real estate. They can put the sign in the yard, place the ad in MLS, and pray, right? If I put this up for $1, what do you think it's going to sell for?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, right? But pricing is one of that. And my goal is to get you as much attention as possible. My goal in a listing appointment is to get the listing, right? We can work through price. It's to get the listing. I want them to know that they're going to be working with me. We're going to figure out the price. And some people aren't ready to go right away, right? So if it comes down to, a 5% gap, okay, in pricing, right? You got your comps, right? But you walk into the house and there's water stains in the basement. The living room has wallpaper from the 50s. The countertops are just hideous. Like all these little things that that these improvements could help you. The landscaping's overgrown. This house is not going to be going to market in another 2 to 3 weeks. How do you know in 2 to 3 weeks from now you won't have another comp? And at that point, you're going to have, you're under contract. Like, look, 123 Evergreen Street in Hillsdale is under contract right now. That's going to be a great comp for us. Right. So don't necessarily feel like you got to nail in the price at the listing appointment. Does that help?
I think Juan got
Yeah.
bumped out, but
I
Mike
got-
back in.
I got bumped out, but I got the whole gist of it.
Yeah, don't feel like it's just price. I mean, a lot of times when you go on that listing appointment, you feel like so compelled to get it at that price. You want to price it low because it's going to sell quick. Like,
Mhm.
focus on getting the listing. Pricing is no, it's very rare that someone says, I want to list it tomorrow. What they're doing is they're interviewing agents. And
Mike, the background noise, thank you. I know you're on Scotch and Scripts, but the background noise
Yeah.
was too loud.
Oh, I apologize.
Is that-
I got
is that
booted
David
out.
Radney?
That was
Yeah.
Radney.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
could
he's a
hear
friend
him.
of mine.
All right, I'm moving. I
So
apologize.
talking about scripts,
No,
I mean,
no,
I'm a 3-time push grad, so I've been through his program 3 times already.
that's awesome. It's a great program, right?
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is. I
All right,
I'm
so
sorry. I got booted out,
Go
but
ahead.
then I kind of was on Scotch and Scripts, so I want to be transparent. Just a couple bullets on my question. You don't have to re-answer it. You probably did already about the new agent and like how many houses have you sold?
In the town.
And then I just got that other one. I just
yeah,
got
so
that.
focus.
Yes.
Use your company stats, right? Don't necessarily feel like they're aiming the question to you specific, because just because someone sold 20 listings in the last year in your town doesn't mean that that's the right person for them.
Yeah.
Odds are that listing agent didn't take as much time as you did. And listen, if you didn't do the time and you didn't put in your homework and your listing presentation is horrible, don't feel like you deserve that listing.
Right. Yeah.
But if you put the time in, show them the hard work, lay out the papers, put up your presentation, talk about you, how you're going to help them, be confident.
Yeah.
Right? They're working with you. You're a brand. Okay. Do you want the Lexus or the Toyota?
No.
If you're working with me, you're working with the Lexus. You're going to get the best service out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you got to pay more for it.
Yeah.
Right. But that's my thing. That's something that I had to find that.
Yeah.
No one's going to outwork me, or at least on a listing presentation, that's what they're hearing. And granted, when someone questions that, go into your experience. I don't know what that is, but maybe you're a business owner, or you have another job.
Yeah, I was a software sales guy most of my career.
Software sales. Okay, so
Software, yeah.
This is how you're gonna use an example. Okay, listen, I was in software sales for 20 years. Okay, I was a top salesman in my office. You know why? It wasn't about the sales. It was about the service.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about something from your past. People want to know that. Okay, you didn't. Maybe you didn't sell software. Maybe you were, I don't know, into a sport. Well, let me give you an example. When my team was down by 4, I was the one in the huddle encouraging them and figuring out how to do it. And I fought every single way. I stayed after practice. I fought hard. Whatever it is, find something to talk about. People aren't necessarily testing your sales and what your numbers have been. They're testing how you answer that question.
Right.
You're going to be different when you tell them and give them an example. And you know what that means? What that means is when it comes down to the line and there's 4 contracts on the line, I'm going to be there fighting for you every tooth and nail as if it was my own dollars.
Yeah.
But don't you want that? Or another example. Okay. Well, listen, we may get 30 grand over the asking on our list price, right? But when it comes time to doing the inspections, that's a whole nother time to negotiate, right? So I'm going to be there for you. A lot of listing agents might just say, well, let's just give them a $10,000 credit and call it a day. Well, you're still up 20, aren't you? Well, no, actually, that's not really the case. I'm going to be the one there that says, hey, listen, we could speed this up or slow it down. What do you want to do? Well, let's slow it down a little bit. Okay, great. Why don't we go out and get our own estimates? It's going to take us an extra week or so. In fact, you know what? Why don't you let me go ahead and book those appointments for you? you're a busy guy, you're in software sales, you got a lot to do, whatever it is, Mr. Homeowner. Let me go out and get all that. Let me help negotiate on behalf of you. I'm here for you. Go work on your family, stay there, have a good time. In fact, if you want to go away this weekend, I'll even book all the appointments this weekend, so it's not bothering you during the week.
That's good.
Use examples. It doesn't have to be, like, I use the David and Goliath thing. I'm in an office with a lot of Goliaths, and here I am, this, little sling shooter, these guys are rolling up with me in machine guns, and I'm, just this little guy just turning out a lot of volume, right? How do you go against that? How do you go against teams in Keller Williams that are your competition? If you're a new agent, how do you go against other agents out there, right? Just take a look in the mirror. You only have one competitor. Everyone else is family here at KW. You have one competitor, all right? And just know what your proposition is. And if not, just guarantee them that you're going to be there for them. Most buyers and sellers, realtors have a really bad rap. They usually ditch people. They don't return your calls, right? We get paid too much. Okay, well, listen, you don't owe me anything until we close. I said, and by then I would have guaranteed you that you would have had a 5-star review from me. Go look on my testimonies. You'll see these people.
Yeah, but that's hard for a newer agent. But I know
it's hard for a newer agent.
I know,
but use some past examples. It doesn't
Gotcha.
necessarily mean that you're going to lose out based on the number of sales in the town.
Right.
That's more of like a filter in your brain.
Right. I very rarely get that question, but came up the other day, and I work with someone, with more experience, is better than me at the back end. And, I just said, well, I work with a team. So we sold houses in the area. My job is typically to, get the lead, build a relationship. That's my experience in my entire career. And I'm going to be with, something like you said, and, and I know the markets, I follow the data, and, I told them all this, whether you buy or you don't buy, or whether you sell or don't sell, I'm going to be here. I'm going to educate you. I'm going to provide you knowledge, data, analytics, about real estate. So something like, something like that. But once in a while I get like a little, but I don't get that question much. It was just the other day. So, I mean, I got the listing, but
Awesome.
it's
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But you either win or you learn. In this case, you won and you learned. There's something you got to go back and just tweak a little bit.
Yeah, it was more of a referral.
Juan has a question. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done, Mike. Sorry.
No, I'm done. I'm done. Go ahead, Arlene.
No, I think
sorry.
Juan had his hand up.
Give me 1 second.
Juan?
Oh, he's
Yeah.
got to wait for the thing. So
Yeah,
if you
so
guys
that-
are
so-
listening, Michael, go ahead. You ready,
So
Ron?
my question, you said use past experience. How about dual agent? Do you recommend using your current experience at your position, or will that kind of spook them and say, well, you're not going to have all the time to represent me because you already have a full-time job? Or
Okay, so let me just understand that question. Are you trying to say, are you concerned about my availability? This is what I would tell.
well, like you said,
yes, I have a dual career. So there's a lot of police officers, firefighters, teachers, that all have this, and what I could tell you is I'm available during the day. But when do buyers usually want to see a house? Because they're working also. Usually they want to see it nights and weekends. And that, ironically, that's when I'm available. And what I actually do is I time block between the hours of 12 and 1, where I get all my phone calls done. And in the event that something does come up, and to be honest with you, it's very rare. But in the event that something does come up where you need to be there at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday and you can't be, I have a partner that I work with in my office that can be there for you. And in most cases, I can even be there on Zoom, or FaceTime or whatever, just to make sure things work. So if it's a question of availability, I'm here for you. And it's 24/7. It's not just weekdays.
Okay. So don't be afraid to bring up my current job. Like,
I think you're almost better off. People will respect you in your decision. Just own it.
Okay.
And say, yes, you're right. I own a dry cleaners and I'm here from 7 to 3. I don't know, I'm just using that example. However, you may think that might be an availability issue. but it's
Mhm.
not, because on the wall of my dry cleanings, guess whose listing's up there,
Oh, yeah. Got it.
right? So change the way you look at it,
Okay.
you know. Or I'm in software sales, like I just can't be there between the hours of 9 and 5. Okay, well, listen, you know, if you can sell software, you can definitely sell a house. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm.
You know, spin it. Like people
Okay.
like that.
All right. Awesome.
You know, and
Thanks.
just own it. Don't lie to someone. Don't, you know,
Yeah.
just own it.
It's good stuff, man. Just, you're good. You got a gift.
And I think
I-
the other thing that I hear Michael saying is that he is an advisor. He's a problem solver. He goes the distance for his client. He is not just listing the house. He's getting the house sold, but he is there and advises them. And he does become a
Mhm.
problem solver for them. And that has a lot of value, guys. And he knows the market, because you said on that last one, you were talking about, you went in with all the stats. You went in
Yeah,
on
run the
those
stats. Do your homework. You know, we fight so hard for that appointment. You know, sometimes it's 20, 30 hours a week. Sometimes it's, you know, you get one a month. Let's be honest. If you get one a month and you're a dual career agent, like, you cannot lose that appointment. Let me repeat that. You know, I left the world of salary and commission, or salary and bonus and paid time off, to commission. You know, I cannot lose this appointment. You work so hard to get it. Do not lose it. You know, and if you go in with that mentality, right? And some people just, they want to interview agents. I get it. Okay. You know, you don't need to be the pushy salesperson if you don't want to. You got to find that niche. You know, if you are and you're that hungry, own it. You know, I'm never going to forget my first year of real estate. You know, I actually said to a seller, listen, this is my background. I left the job. You know, I am in this business to build a legacy and a future. I do not fail. Failure is not an option. When it comes to selling your house, let's talk about the terms and conditions. And I'm going to tell you that we're going to get there. If we don't, I can't control the market, right? I can't control COVID, but I can tell you I'm going to be here every single step of the way and educate you with as much information as I can. You know, and oh, by the way, you know, my destiny depends on you. You know, selling this house helps determine my destiny. You know, I even remember on a listing presentation, I said, you know, listen, I got a wife and I got 2 mouths to feed, right? I'm hungry, right? I want to help you, right? That listing agent that just came through that sells 20 in town, they're just going to put their sign up and hopefully someone else is going to sell for them. For me, my goal is to sell this house for you. That's my goal. I want to have the buy side and the sell side, right? I'm going to work to find you a buyer. If it just so happens that my offer is not the best offer, and this happens time and time again, it happens to me. You know, you start to think like, hey, I would love to get, you know, the full percentage. But listen, you know, it just happened to me not even too long ago. Same exact terms and conditions. You know, the buyer that ended up getting this property waived all contingencies. And I'm like, I can't compete with that. I even told my buyer, I'm like, listen, you know how much I want to sell both sides. Like, I'm telling them to be honest with them. I'm like, I would love to have both sides of this deal. I know the deal closed, it'd be a lot easier. If I were you, I would never waive all contingencies on a property. Like, that's ludicrous. You know, you have no blanket. You know, and I gained more trust from that buyer than ever could have been in the future. You know, now he calls me with listings. I haven't even seen this stuff hit the market yet. So, sorry, we got a little sidetracked there.
Honestly, it's wonderful and real. And I think that's so important, because I could tell you're persistence, passionate, and it's the way that you work. And that's why I think you've built yourself a bunker, and you're able to really be determined to make those calls. And you've named a few towns. It's not like you have one niche town that you're concentrating on. You're going the distance from where your people are.
You can. KW teaches us, you know, hyper local and all that stuff. It's great. Okay, don't get me wrong, it's great. Do it. They talked about farming, do it. But if that's not working for you today, it may work in the future when you have a more business to sell. If that's not working for you today, how are you going to be in business? Because if you're not lead generating today, you will have no sales in 90 days. All right, so I did just in a matter of time.
Today dictate what your income will be, right?
That's right. November 1st is the realtor's New Year's. November 1st. So we're like, what? A couple weeks out?
Couple weeks out, but we're already working on November 28th. No, November 20. What's today's date? 22nd.
Yeah.
Because you see
All right,
what's
so
supposed to do today. So you did great.
I'd like to just go through one script that you can put into business like tonight. That was a monumental script to me. It was one of the first scripts that I learned and mastered. I use it every single day. So in this package, anyone who asks for it can get it. It's 37 pages of scripts. There's more scripts in here than you could ever read. But maybe, can we go down to, I think it's page 12. It's called I Am in the Business script. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So I'm gonna read this script first. Okay, so in the event that you're lead generating, you're calling your sphere, right? Because you're not cold calling yet. You want to call people that family, friends, business associates. If you're in any type of retail job, someone walking in the door. This is a quick script. Actually, is there anyone like really new in here? Like no one even knows that they're a realtor yet?
Just
Okay,
myself.
well, okay, so we got one. All right, so then the intro to this is for you, but the second part is for everyone, right? So first of all, I don't know if you can see me. Where am I here? All right, so I'm usually standing. I'm not going to stand because I don't think you'll be able to see me, but I usually stand up at this point, right? I'm feeling good. Ring, ring, ring. Hi, this is Michael Guariello, or hey, this is Michael. How you doing? Oh, great, I'm doing well. I'm just cooking dinner right now, Mike. Sorry, I can't really talk. Well, listen, I only got a quick minute because I got to run too. But I don't know if you heard, but I just had the opportunity to join Keller Williams, the world's largest real estate franchise. I've begun the journey of building a real estate business, and I really could use your help. Really, really, that's awesome. That's great news. How can I help you? Well, you can help me by, who do you know that wants to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate that I can talk to today? Well, let me think about that. Yeah, I'm actually cooking dinner right now, but I'd love to chat with you later. Can I give you a call back tonight? Yeah, sure, no problem. Thanks for taking a moment to think about that. If someone does come to mind in the next hour or so, or even in the future, I'd appreciate if you'd let me know. Look forward to the opportunity to earn your business. Right, so the question there is, who do you know that's looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate that I could speak to today? If you use that phrase, I think it's right underneath absolutely. I don't know, Arlene, if you want to just, well, we lost you there. Where's the script? Do you see it right under absolutely? Do you know? Just change it to who do you know instead of do you know? Who? You want to know who? Who do you know that wants to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate that I could speak to today? Use it every single conversation. Every single conversation.
But once they get it, they can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to write that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say just write that down. If you have notepad, Word, anything. Who do you know that wants to buy a home, You know, and I'm using my Downswing, buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate, that I could speak to today.
Yeah, that really didn't work too
You-
good.
That's all right. Just know that if you ask that question on every conversation you have during the daytime, you will get referrals. It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. You know, you could follow up and say, well, thank you for your time. I'd like to keep you updated. You know, we were talking about this before. What would be the best email address for you? You know, so I can keep you updated on today's market. What would be the best email address that I can keep you updated on today's market? Oh, it's, you know, first initial last name at Gmail. Okay, great. You know, I'll send you some information today. You know, and keep them on what they call a drip campaign. That will do, you know, we talk about that in command. But all you're trying to do is build a database, you know, and then, you know, there's other courses in here, how to connect with it, you know, but really just keep calling people with that script. That's the best script out there, you know. And you know, I could take it one step farther, and someone says, listen, I know absolutely no one that's looking to sell their house. Oh, okay, well, thank you for thinking of me. I said, but by the way, you know, perhaps maybe you know someone else who may know someone. Perhaps maybe you know someone else that may know someone who's looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate. Actually, I don't really know anyone. Well, listen, Joe, I know that you're heavily involved in your local chamber of commerce, or I know you're heavily involved in your local religious activities, or hey, I know you're a baseball coach in town. If you do come across someone as you're talking to parents, you know, that may even mention the word sell, buy, or even just the word house, those are great words that would trigger a connection for me, and that would really be helpful for me. Okay, Mike, you know, I'll think about you. Oh, by the way, you know, how's software sales going? You know, spin it. Okay, now I'm going to come from contribution. How could I help you? Right, so I'm giving you a script. How can I help you do better for your family? Well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you know, I actually used to work in corporate America. You know, I still have a lot of contacts. What would be a great lead for you? Okay, so I went from asking for business to how can I help you? Any questions? You know, and then actually try to help them. Like, don't just like hang up. Like the next day, like actually reach out to someone, you know, and then let them know that and say, oh, follow up with a text. Hey, Jim, you know, I just want to let you know I reached out to my connection over at ABC company. Yeah, they're actually in procurement and they're the ones that work on these contracts. So I'm waiting to hear back a call. If I can get you a lead, I'm going to let you connect with them. How's that sound?
Can I ask you a question?
So yes.
Are you sharing these scripts, or is there any way we could get them, or Arlene could have a copy, or?
Yeah,
Or no?
this yeah, this script,
up to you.
absolutely. So there's 37 pages of these scripts, whatever you want, you know, just email Arlene, maybe put your email in the chat and we can email it to you.
Okay.
You know, there's every script in the book in this 37-page document.
Wow.
You know, each of
That's
them are different. There's some FSBOs, some expireds, new to the business, how to treat a referral. That's a good one in there. We don't have time to go through all this tonight,
right.
you know. But what my biggest contribution tonight is what's not in these scripts. You know, because this may work for you or it may not. If it's someone who's not, what can I do today? Call someone, tell them you care about them, ask them how they're feeling. Listen, I can help you save some money. Do you know anyone that's looking to save some money on auto insurance, mortgage? You know, do you need a referral for a landscaper? I don't know. You know, anything you do in your own world, think about it. You know, someone that's a pest inspector. Okay, great. You know, I can help you. You know, just mention my name. Come from contribution. And when they talk about real estate, that's your trigger. And when they say that, give them a little intro. Yeah, interest rates are 3%. And I bought my house in 06 at 5.5. It's crazy, you know, but that 2% of difference actually equates to almost like 20% of purchasing power. So it's no joke that the market's up 20% in some markets. It's the same payment. Wow, you know, you're actually right. Yeah. Well, who do you know that I could talk to today that I can ask them if they could buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate? I don't know anyone. Well, who do you know who may know someone? You know, and then follow it up again with the care script. Like, well, actually, what do? You know, how can I help you? Oh, it's funny. I actually just got laid off. This happened to me this past year. You know, you're talking to somebody, you never know what the heck they would say to you, right? My brother just got COVID and passed away. Terribly horrible to see that, right? You think they're going to get something from me the next day? Absolutely. You know, am I going to call and check up on them every single day for the next week? Yeah, that's what I was doing. Hey, just checking in on you. Thanks for sharing that information with me. How are you feeling today? You know, I just did this 10-minute meditation. It actually worked for me. You want to try it? I'm going to be on tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We can do it together. You know, I just try to connect with people, because when you have someone in your database, connect with them. When you have an appointment, don't lose it. Treat it like gold.
I have another question. As a new
Okay.
as a new agent, you know, at the beginning, okay, you know, you practice your scripts, you connect with people, but then there is another part of the process that you don't really know, or you are not familiar with the process of contracts, inspections, and you start thinking about it, you know, as a new agent. Okay, you connect with someone else, with people around you, and then it's the other aspect that you are not really familiar. How do you deal with that situation at the beginning of your career? Like,
Yep.
I'll take that.
Okay, great. Yeah, great family or Operation Recreation Dreams. Yeah, that's a great, but
What you need to do is practice doing it on your own house. Learn the contract, learn how to fill it out. There's sample contracts on multiple websites for you. allinkw.com is one of them. Michael will tell us the Valley one because I don't have it in front of me right
yeah,
now.
are you in the training program with Patty or one of the other?
What market center are you in?
Parkview, Keller Williams Parkview.
Parkview?
Is that which one is that?
Rutherford.
Rutherford.
Oh my God, on their website, they have a great Excel sheet that has all sample contracts written right out for you. It's a whole Excel sheet, goes through every single document that you would need. Plus, are you in the coaching program? How long you been in the business?
Yeah, that's it, the coaching program.
Well, I just been in the business for probably 3 weeks, probably.
Excellent. So you're part of the coaching program. So go to the coaching things Mondays between 2 and 3. I go over all of that stuff.
From 2 to 3 every
2 to
Monday,
3
right?
coaching 1.0. It's on every Monday. There's a Zoom link.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Okay, because I want you to practice on your own house or pick a house that you love in your town or whatever, and you pretend that you are the buyer. You have your KW email, have your own other side email. Email it to yourself so you could practice it and understand how your client receives it. So you'd be able to explain it to them as you work through it. Sorry,
Okay.
Michael, go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, and Freddie, I'm going to give you my one sales pitch for the day, and it's going to be for everyone on this call. If you need any help, here's my info. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Copy it.
Yeah, I think
You know,
I think
my goal would be to help you, give you the advice, to coach you on your own. You know, but for me, my biggest problem in my first year when I was dual career is I was like you, and I tried to understand everything up front, when in reality, this is a contact sport. And the only way to really know it is to get in the game.
yeah.
And trust me, you will learn more how to write a buyer's contract when it's 1 a.m. in the morning and you got to get it out because you got work at 7 a.m. and you just showed a house at 7 p.m. and the buyer says, I want to write up an offer, you're going to learn more at 1 a.m. than you ever would have done in a class. You know, so either get in the coaching program that we're talking about. If you have any questions, you know, feel free to call me on anything. You know, if it was me, you know, sometimes it's easier to refer it out until you can dedicate the time.
Yep.
You know, if you say, hey, listen, you know, my cousin really wants to buy a house. Okay, you know, I can help you. I can work with you. If you just wanted to refer it out, you know, I'm here for you as well. You know, keep you posted on how things are going and keep you updated along the way. You know, so I also have a
Pick
a
a
fairly
mentor.
large multifamily mixed use and commercial business. You know, I came from that background, so my business, I do have a lot of business there as well. So I get a lot of referrals from other agents in my office that are strictly residential. I just got one yesterday. We're going on an appointment tomorrow for a mixed use property. You know, and that we're probably going to end up working together on. You know, because that agent was curious how to do it. So I said, all right, I'll work with you. You know, so another source of income for me, like I said, you know, I know that business, the multifamily mixed use. I'm an investor myself, so you know, of course, I sell it. But if there's anything I can help you on, I mean, any lead's a good lead.